I've sent you the paper as well. Okay, did you try to attempt the paper one for October, November 24? Okay. Okay, great. Uh, then I'll give you the feedback in the next class. Okay, so the very first question of October November paper is variant 2, paper 2. Okay, so very first question is related to hormones. The four glands are mentioned: adrenal gland, ovary, pancreas, and pituitary gland. So what you need to do, you need to tell and match the hormones and what is their target organs, like where do they act actually. So the very okay, two lines are given. Progesterone is targeted towards the uterus, and adrenaline increases the heart rate. Okay, so let's put lines for the glands and hormones in their target organs. Okay, very first thing, the lines should be straight. They shouldn't be curved. Okay. Okay. So adrenal gland is produces. Oh, sorry. Already given. I don't know what happened to my tablet. I cannot make a straight line. Wow. It's giving a single direction. It's not letting me making a straight line. I don't know why. Okay. Next one is ovary. Ovary produces progesterone. Okay. Adrenal gland. Oh, sorry. Pancreas, glucagon, and pituitary gland, FSH. Correct. So, what is the function of FSH? Follicle mean egg. So, what is the okay? What is the function of? Okay, it matures the egg. So, where would it work? It would work in the ovary where the egg is produced. What does glucagon do? Glucagon converts the glycogen. It's opposite. Glycogen into glucose, and it is stimulated by liver. So the target organ is liver. Next is name a chemical that is produced by a plant shoot to coordinate the shoot response to gravity. Okay, you have read about only one growth hormone that is given, auxin. Next one is a constant supply of water is essential for both animals and plants. Okay, the average daily intake is this, and the loss is this. Okay, calculate the percentage of average daily water intake that is lost in sweat from an adult human. So you have to take the value for this one and the average. Okay, so what would be value? 23. Yes, yes, into 100. So 8. Correct. So it would be 8%. And if they ask you to give some working, you need to give the working. Okay? This point is missed by many students. They just directly do it. But you need to give the working part as well. Okay, the percentage of water lost in sweat is not always the same. Why? Okay. How do we rephrase weather? Let's be very specific. It depends on the external, good, external environment. Okay. And what factor in the external environment? Temperature. Okay. Now explain this point. If okay, okay. Why? Good. Okay. This is number one. What is the other like factor which control the sweat? Sorry. Wait. We have mentioned temperature. This is factor number one. What is the other factor? Okay. What other factors can affect the water concentration in the body? No, not respiration, excretion. Okay. The urine formation. So it may happen that your urine, yeah, has excess water, so there would be less production of sweat. Okay. Percentage loss in sweat. Okay, what can be other reason? Okay, there are many factors which, sorry. No. Okay, listen, let me redirect you. uh, I've mentioned a topic, urine formation, right? And there is a very specific topic in your book where it's written that the volume and concentration of urine depends upon few factors. Number one, temperature. Number two, okay, wait, that is written and that is written already. Okay, third factor is activity. So the concentration or volume of urine also depend on activity. If your body is using water in some activity or like you are exercising more, so there would be more sweat production. Activity increase can also result in production of can also result, like if you exercise more, there would be more loss of water through sweat. Certain production of sweat. So there are three factors. Number one, exercise. Number two, temperature. Number three, the urine. Okay. A scientist measured the mass of water taken up and lost by plants over the 21 hours. The plant was kept at a constant temperature on a windows sill in a laboratory. Readings were taken after every 90 minutes. At 0 hour, it was sunrise. In 15 hours, it was sunset. Okay, so there is a change in water uptake and water loss. Okay, one is given by a straight solid line and one is given by a dotted line. Plant lose water by evaporation from their leaves. What is this process called? Transpiration, correct. Explain the shape of curve for water loss from the plant over 21 hours of an experiment. Like you have to give the general explanation, don't, because description is not written, so you don't have to give values. Just explain that why it's increasing or why it's decreasing. Okay, it's not about temperature, it's about hours. So temperature is not written. Temperature is kept constant. That is 20 degrees Celsius. Okay. Okay, don't say fluctuate. Let's say there would be increase in water loss or increase in water uptake during the first 12 hours. Let's say not 12 but 10 hours. But after that, there would be loss in the water uptake. Why do you think so? Why is this happening? Okay, good. So you have to give the factor why. Number one is light intensity increases at 0 to 10 hours. So the rate, is it rate or what's certain? So the water uptake and water loss. So the water uptake and water loss would be more. Why? What is the effect of light on the evaporation? Stomata, stomatas. Exactly. Stomata open, due to which there would be more water loss. Okay. Okay, listen. Guard cells have chloroplast. So if there is photosynthesis, there would be production of glucose, which causes the guard cells to swell. Okay. If there is no photosynthesis, guard cells won't swell up or become turgid, so the stomata would be closed. So photosynthesis causes the stomata to open. So if there is a light, stomata will open. Okay. Yes, light. It's because of photosynthesis. That is the next function, that the carbon dioxide enters through the stomata. Okay. And carbon dioxide is produced by respiration as well. So respiration is taking place all the time in plants. Okay. Okay. Uh, we have given one reason, that light intensity increases, due to which the stomata opens and there would be more water loss. Okay. What other factor can we write? So after like 10 hours or 15 hours, there is a rapid decrease. Okay. After, let's say, 15 to or between 15 and 21 hours, there is a decrease. And what do you why do you think so there is a decrease? Stomata close, right? No, no, it would be flaccid. Okay. So as the light intensity increases from 0 to 12 hours, or you can say 0 to 15 hours, the stomata get opens and there would be more water loss. But after that, after 15 hours, the stomata would get closed, due to which the water loss would be reduced. Okay. Next, explain why the shape of curve of water loss is similar to the shape of curve of water uptake. Now, this is related to the three movements that causes the water to travel across a plant. The very first movement is the uptake by roots, number two is the capillary action, and number three is the transpirational pull. So as we are discussing the stomata get closed or open. So this would be more related to transpirational pull. You have to explain the transpirational pull for 3 marks here. Okay, that is your point number one. Is what is point number two? Transpirational pull. Okay. Okay. What about water uptake? Like we have told, okay, there is water loss, but how is water uptake? Like, good. What exactly? Water is uptaken by roots, by osmosis. Okay. Then they travel up the xylem. Okay, so these would be your 3 points. Okay, so transpirational pull, that is the water loss. Okay, but how it's moving the water up? Because they have the capillary action in which the water molecules are like connected to each other. So if the one molecule pulls up, the other automatically does. Okay, the scientists repeated the experiment. All conditions were kept the same except the temperature. So temperature is different, which is lower than 10 degrees Celsius. On figure 2.2, draw a new curve to show the expected result of water loss at the lower temperature. Okay. What do you think? So if the temperature is less, then where would be curve? Less. Exactly. So we would make something like this. Okay. No, no, no. Doesn't matter. But it should be below the these two lines. Okay. And try to maintain the equal boxes, that would give you more marks. Like if you choose like 4 boxes, try to make points below 4 boxes. Like it should be like 4 boxes below or 5 boxes below, whatever uh, scale you have chosen. Okay, if you're choosing 3 boxes, make every point three, like below it, 3 boxes down. Okay, Azolla is a genus of small ferns. Okay, let's talk about ferns first of all. We have different classes of plants. One is ferns. Now, what is the characteristic of ferns? Ferns produces spores. They do not have true leaves or true stem, but they have some stems which are folded. Okay, these are the like characteristics of ferns. They do not produce seeds, but they produce spores in sporangia. Okay. Azolla has cavities in its leaves and contain nitrogen fixing bacteria called Anabina azolla. Wow. In some part of the world, farmers grow azolla in their rice field. Rice fields are flooded with water, so the rice plants grow half submerged. Okay, this one shows the flooded field, and this one is the azolla leaf. Okay. Ferns and flowering plants are two groups in the plant kingdom. Use information from this one and this one. Two structural features used to classify azolla in plant kingdom. Like what makes it fit in plant kingdom? Okay. It has, okay, wait. What is present in this diagram? What are these? What are these? No, these are not spores. These are green pigmented organelles. Yeah, these are chloroplast. Okay. What else is present? It is a necessary. Wait. Yes, they can have chlorophyll, but we have to tell the two structural features. One is chloroplast. Okay, what can be the other one? What is present around the cell? Okay. What else? Okay, okay. You are focusing on a structure of leaf, while I am focusing on a cell structure. Okay. Okay. Cell wall. Cell wall. We cannot write cell membrane because cell membrane is also part of. We have to give the distinguishing features of plant. So the distinguishing features are the big vacuole, chloroplast, cell wall, right? So we can't see vacuole over here, but we can clearly see cell wall and the chloroplast. Okay. Yes, it's a plant. It is. It is. It's not a fungi. Okay. It's a plant. Okay. Rice plants produce sexually, and after pollination, they produce dash. They produce. Okay, wait. Let's move to the next part as well. That are then dispersed. What is dispersed? Hmm. Yes. So we have to write seeds. Okay. And azolla reproduce sexually by producing. I have told you in the start. What do they produce? Spores. Suggest, okay, farmers grow azolla in the rice field to increase the rice yield. Now keep in mind they have told us in the very start what do they contain? They contain, okay, that have already underlined. So it's better to underline the important words so that you can get your answer. Okay, they have nitrogen fixing bacteria and they increase the yield. Why do you think so? Okay, good. Okay, to make protein, this is your point number two. What would be point number three? Because we have to, okay, wait, we have to focus on yield. There would be more growth. Proteins mean growth, so more growth mean more yield. Okay, you need to relate the answer with the statement. Okay, next, azolla can grow very quickly. It can remove as much as this percentage of carbon from the atmosphere. Describe how azolla remove carbon from the atmosphere. क्या हुआ फ्रांस? Okay. Yes. Yes. Because exactly. You have to give it like for 4 mark. Carbon dioxide. Okay. 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 Photosynthesis. How it is used in photosynthesis. Okay. To glucose. Correct. Okay. Okay. As starch. Okay. Very first thing that you have missed is the movement of carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide moves through diffusion. You need to mention it, okay? When they have asked you about, like, specifically about carbon dioxide, so you need to tell that carbon is actually diffused into the plant in the form of carbon dioxide, and that is used in photosynthesis. Okay, the what is photosynthesis? In photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is reduced. That is given definitely. Reduction mean the addition of hydrogen. So you can also say carbon dioxide reacts with water to make glucose, or you can also say carbon dioxide is reduced to glucose when reacts with water. Okay. And then this glucose is stored as starch. Okay. We can also write the equation. Okay. How do you write the equation? No, no. It is transported as sucrose, but stored as starch. Six six C6H12. Okay, explain why removing carbon from the atmosphere may help the global environment. Now, this is related to your greenhouse effect or the. Okay. No, there's no need to tell because okay, in the start of the statement we have uh, clearly they have clearly mentioned that it can remove this much of carbon dioxide each year. Okay, so we'll focus on this. Yes, reduces. There's no need to explain greenhouse effect or global warming. Okay. Number one, there would be reduction in the greenhouse gas effect. Number two, there will be reduction in global warming. Yes, limits or reduce the climatic change. Okay, what sort of climatic change? For instance, extreme weathers. Okay, for instance, uh, the increase in temperature. Okay, next part. Different species of azolla are found naturally in many countries. Azolla has been introduced by a human to some countries where it is not native. So, when azolla is introduced in a country, it can have an impact on the natural water ecosystem. Suggest how it can have impact on these fresh water ecosystem. Like, what will it take from the ecosystem? What happened? Okay, you'll focus on the question. Hmm. Okay, wait. There is a natural ecosystem at some place. Okay, you are living happily somewhere, and your parents ask like put some of your sibling in your room. How do you feel? That would be impact on the ecosystem. Okay. Okay, it will compete good. Native species. It will compete for what? For nutrients. For nutrients. Okay. For nutrients for water. Okay. Hmm, hmm. Okay, that is okay. I got your point. So pressure is basically the competition in the resources. There's no need to like rephrase it. This is already complete. Okay, what else? Because they have okay, disturb food chains. Good point. what I was telling, it has the nitrogen fixing bacteria. What would be impact? Yes. And what would be effect of greater nitrates? Exactly. More plant growth, and there may be, because it's taking in more nutrients, it has extra bacteria that are converting or that are taking the ammonia from the water, or they are converting it into nitrates. So the other species might not get that nitrate. Okay, that's the other species may be lost, or may. No. If there is more growth, there would be more oxygen. No, it's about the like fight of nutrients. Like they are taking nitrogen. Nitrogen means it would be less available to other species which cannot like, as a result those species cannot grow. Okay. Okay, lipases are enzymes which are produced by animals, plants, and microorganisms. They are different from the species that have different chemical structure. Okay, they are different in different organisms. Explain what is meant by term catalyst. A catalyst is something that, yes, without getting used up, or you can also say that remains unchanged in the reaction. Okay, unchanged in the reaction. Okay, number two, name the organ that secrete lipases into your duodenum. Pancreas. Name the substrate and the products of lipase. The substrate is on which it's acting. Lipids. What is the product? Fatty acids and glycerol. Okay. Some scientists collected species of bacteria from three different sources, A, B, and C, which are given like these. Okay, the scientists investigated how temperature affected this activity of lipase produced by bacteria collected from three different sources. They wanted to find a source of lipase that could be used in biological powder. So, what do you think? Which one is better for biological source, A, B, or C? Okay, think again. Which is more suitable, which can, also, sorry, which which can also bear more like temperature. So B is the one which is quite active at 50, 55, 60, 60, 70. Okay, so this one is more suitable. Okay, if you overall look at the chain, B is more active than C. So C, and even much more active than A. A is inactive after 60 degrees Celsius. Its activity is really less for A. So B is the one which is the most suitable one. Okay, the question is same. Using figure 5.1, 4.1, discuss the result from this investigation. What do you think? Which like what like results of source A, B, and C? What are the results? More, most suitable to be used in biological. Okay, why? Why? Discuss. Good, because they're quite active. They're quite active at higher temperatures. Don't say denature. They're quite active. Okay, they have a higher activity. Okay, so we have told about B. What about A and C? A is active, yes. So its optimum temperature is 40. Okay, and what about B? Okay, C. Okay, B has an optimum temperature of 60 and C has an optimum temperature of 75. Correct. Okay, the lipase molecule produced by different species of bacteria have different chemical structures. What determines the different chemical structures of lipase molecule, or what decides the chemical structure of a protein? Lipase means it's a protein. Why having different chemical structures can affect the activity at different temperatures? First of all, tell how the protein structure is determined, and then we'll talk about the second point about the temperature. Waiting. What's this? Which molecule in the cell decides the structure of protein? Which organelle in the cell? You there? Okay. Wait. Wait. I've given you a clear hint. You have to tell how is protein made in the organism. What starts the production of protein? Yes. And those not amino acid sequence of amino acid, not bases, and that is decided by the DNA. So you have to tell about that. The DNA codes for certain sequence of amino acid in the protein. Okay, I guess you are quite sleepy. No, okay. So DNA codes for good. For just stick to this one. Amino acids. Okay, then these amino acids. Good. Have specific shape or active site. Okay. Now you have given 2 points for determination. Okay. What can be like why different temperatures? Yes. Gets yes. So some also get denature at higher temperatures. Okay. Just mention the activity. Next one. Okay. This is a human blood. So we centrifuge it and then the different components are separated. What do you think? The last part is the red part and it contains the red blood cells. They are the most denser ones because of hemoglobin. The white portion is the platelets and white blood cells. What is this pale yellow part? Plasma. It contains 7% protein and what is the major percentage? Which water? Okay, and the solutes are these. What solutes can be present in your blood? There are many. Okay, carbon dioxide. Okay, hormones, glucose. There's so many. I'm excluding carbon dioxide for a second. Okay, carbon dioxide is carried by the red blood cells, right? So that's Oh, wait. So, wait. Hemoglobin gets attached to oxygen or carbon dioxide. So, plasma has no carbon dioxide. Okay? Okay. Glucose. There's so many. Okay, hormones. They're also carried by blood. Okay. But they are protein. They are not. Okay. What else? Amino acids. There's so many things. Urea. You can mention the fatty acids, mineral ions, vitamins. Okay. Okay. So just why red blood cells are more dense. I've already told you the reason why they're more dense than the white blood cells. Hemoglobin. Wait. The reason is hemoglobin. Okay. What is present in hemoglobin that makes it dense or heavy? Oh, protein and iron. And moreover, the protein is packed tightly. They're densely packed. So density is related with packing. Okay. Mm, it's of 2 mark. Yes, I guess this is enough. The ABO blood group in humans are determined by these alleles IA, IB, and IO. Okay, the human blood group system is a pure example of codominance. Now, what is codominance? Exactly. Good. So, okay, we have these blood groups. What are the possible genotypes for AB, and O? For A, they have given us alleles. Maybe both alleles are same, or maybe one allele is missing. Okay. Maybe both alleles have B, or maybe one allele is missing. Okay. O, yes, yes, O. O means missing. And here, correct? State the, okay. A woman has, a pregnant woman has a blood group O, okay? And the fetus in the blood uterus developed from one of her fertilized egg and has blood group B. What is the genotype of fetus? Tell me whether it's IA, IO, what? Yes, and this IO is coming from mother. Okay, the women and the fetus have different blood groups, so they have different antigens on their red blood cell membrane. Okay, and it can also cause the can be a cause of clotting or something. The woman has antibodies to the antigens on the red blood cells. Explain why women's antibodies are not usually able to come in contact with the antigens of fetus. Wait, okay, okay. Why? Okay, listen, listen. No, 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 no. Okay, there is like a medium through which the nutrients passes on to the fetus. Placenta. Okay, very first thing. So placenta separates the mother blood from the fetus blood. Okay, and I have clearly mentioned that there would be a different bloodstream for the mother and the baby. Okay, then antibodies which are present on red blood cells cannot cross the placenta. Okay, red blood cells, the red blood cells are not going to pass through. Okay, okay, exactly. And exactly. Okay, cholera. Okay, how does cholera work? Bacterium. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's discuss this working. Number one, are you getting disconnected again and again? I guess. Okay, that's why I'm getting notification and I'm wondering why I'm getting. Okay, cholera. Oh, sorry. Cholera get attached to the lumen or the walls of small intestine. Okay, then it releases a toxin over there. That toxin moves the chloride ions into the lumen. Since there are more chloride ions, it will attract more water into the lumen. That would result in lumen by osmosis. Let's mention by osmosis, which causes the watery feces. Okay. Okay. Name the type of microorganism. What is Vibrio cholera? A bacterium. A bacterium. Bacteria are many. Bacterium is single. Okay. So you can write bacteria, but don't write a then. Okay. So Jason, explain why reasons why outbreak of cholera are more likely after natural disasters. Okay. Hmm. 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 So the water is not properly treated. It is contaminated, and what else you have told? And it spreads through drinking the contaminated water. So after natural disaster, as the disposal of waste or sewage is not proper. Okay, that can also be a leading reason. Okay, how does this infection causes diarrhea? Just now I've told you the whole process. Hmm. 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 Into the lumen. Hmm. Feces. Correct. Correct. You have mentioned all the points. Okay. Use figure 6.1 suggest why giving the patient this solution, this ORS basically. Okay. Hmm. Correct. Hmm. To replace the salts, what else? Replace the chloride ions in specifically, and rehydration. Replace water and minerals, or you can say it is used for rehydration. So it is basically oral rehydration solution, ORS. What? No, that would be that sauce would be part of your blood, not the small intestine. Okay, small, because those bacteria toxins are getting the chloride ions from the lumen, from the blood, you can say. Okay. Okay, I guess this is seventh one is the last question. I have class at 11. Okay, let's just inform that student. Okay, the mammalian nervous system is essential for the coordination and control. Explain the difference between organ, tissues, cell using eye as an example. So you have to give the definition of organ, tissue, and cell, and how eye has different cells, different tissues, and how it's an organ. Cell. Hmm. Hmm. Correct. We have cone cells, rod cells. Hmm. 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 Good. Suspensory ligaments. Hmm. Hmm. So eye is an organ. Correct. Okay. Then there is a diagram for synapses given. Okay. Whenever synapse is given, keep few things in mind. There are vesicles. Okay. The neurotransmitter. This one is synapse, and on it there are certain receptor proteins. Okay, and then you have to define the whole process. Okay, and it's of 6 marks. Okay, what would you write in 6 marks? Let's see. Let's okay. Okay, presynaptic neuron then. Hmm. Hmm. They okay. You missed the movement. Which movement? Yes. Then. Hmm. Why? How do they bind, or why do they bind? Correct. Okay. Okay. One direction. Correct. Okay. So this is all for this paper. Okay. Now try to solve their, like, you're sending me P1 of October November 24 variant 2, I guess. And this one is also variant 2 of October November 25. You need to send it to me on Monday. Okay? Yes, both October November. Okay. Have a nice Eid. Eid Mubarak.